Hello, Brendan here, the youth minister of St. John the Evangelist Catholic Church. So normally I do Sunday gospel reflections, Sunday reading reflections, but since we're in a time where we're doing school from home, I'm working from home, I figured I want to be connected with you as much as I can. So starting today, Wednesday, January 5th, I'm going to be doing reading the daily gospel and offering a short reflection. And I hope this is a way that we can continue connecting with each other throughout this time of COVID, throughout this time of being at home. So today we start with the Gospel of Mark, chapter 6, 45 to 52. This is happening just after Jesus feeds the 5,000. So Tuesday's reading would have been about Jesus feeding of 5,000, and it speaks about the 5,000 men. So that's not including women and children. So there would have been more than the 5,000. And there's a miracle of the loaves and the fish that really points to how God is going to be overabundant in feeding us when we ask. So the reading is from the Gospel of Mark. After the 5,000, after feeding the 5,000 with the loaves and the fish, Jesus made his disciples get into the boat and go on ahead to the other side, to Bethsaida, while he dismissed the crowd. After saying farewell to them, he went up to the mountain to pray. When evening came, the boat was out on the sea, and Jesus was alone on the land. When he saw that they were straining at the oars against an adverse wind, he came towards them early in the morning, walking on the sea. He intended to pass them by, but when they saw him walking on the sea, they thought it was a ghost and cried out, for they all saw him and were terrified. But immediately he spoke to them and said, "Take heart, it is I. Do not be afraid." Then Jesus got into the boat with them, and the wind ceased, and they were utterly astounded, for they did not understand about the loaves, but their hearts were hardened. So this is a reading, um, such a beautiful reading. First, we see Jesus in the evening going up the mountain to pray. So Jesus is always taking that time to pray. And we often see Jesus praying in the Gospels before something significant happens. And something significant does happen. So when he is coming out on the sea, it says he intended to pass them by. And if you think about the Old Testament, think about times where God passes by someone. One example is Moses. God passes by Moses so Moses can see his back. And then we have the story of Elijah. Elijah goes up to a cave in the mountain. God passes him by. There's wind, there's thunder, there's earthquakes, there's fire as God's passing by. But God is not in any of those. God is in the still small voice that Elijah hears. So we have these moments where God is passing by Moses and Elijah to reveal himself to Moses and Elijah. And here again, we have Jesus intending to pass the disciples by. Very similar to what happened with Moses and Elijah, except there's one difference. The disciples call out to him. And his response is, "Take heart, it is I. Do not be afraid." And the key to that is, it is I. Because if you think of the divine name that God gives to Moses, I am who am. This is a very similar thing that Jesus is saying. He is claiming the name I am here. And this disciples' hearts were closed. They didn't fully understand. But we have the grace to be able to understand that. The Holy Spirit can lead us to understand this. For Jesus here, Jesus in this Gospel of Mark, right after the feeding of the 5,000, he comes out onto the sea. He intends to pass the disciples by, and then he says, "It is I." Jesus is showing his disciples, he is telling us that he is God. So let's keep that in our hearts today. Let's reflect on that throughout our day. Jesus tells us that he is God. How does that change your life today? So, until I see you tomorrow, I want to wish you a great day. God bless. Please pray for me as I am praying for you. Bye.